Take the word spirit. People who want to go beyond materialism believe they have to say spirit, spirit, spirit. Let's take the German word Geist, spirit. In Latin, it has a still more concrete character, spiritus, also meaning alcohol in German. But what we understand by Geist is not something that would lead most people very strongly to the spirit. And when you think it over, the matter becomes very abstract, because after all, you can't picture alcoholic spirits, can you? Yet that is the concrete idea underlying it. But what is Geist, spirit? I have often complained about this, but most people, when they think of the spirit, only imagine a very, very rarefied substance, like an extremely thin mist. And if they want to speak about the spirit, they talk about, in quotes, vibrations. I often used to hear people saying, not in theosophical meetings, but at theosophical teas, that the vibrations were so good. I'm not sure how they meant this, but at any rate, it is a very material process that one fantasizes into the space. The word Geist, spirit, Gischt, spray, foam, Geist, dialect form of Geist, Geshti, dialect form of Gischt, is something like steam that sprays out of an opening. That would be the concrete mental image. But in our present time, in the fifth post-Atlantean cultural epoch, we cannot come to any kind of concrete thought image of the spirit in this way. It is simply impossible. For you either stick to some kind of shadowy abstraction that you associate with the word spirit, or you are forced to think of spirits, of alcoholic spirit, and the idea there of an inspired person would give you a very curious concrete image. Or you think of spray, Gischt, spirit, Geist, of something that sprays out when a valve is opened. That would lead you to what is concrete. Now, in the method adopted here for the anthroposophical pursuit of spiritual science, we try, through the reciprocal nature of the ideas introduced, to gradually make these more concrete. Consider that on the one hand it is said that the human being consists of physical body, etheric body, astral body, sentient soul, intellectual soul, consciousness soul, and then the spirit emerges, spirit life, life spirit, and spirit man. It is quite consciously only touched on, since the majority of those who hear these things cannot yet have a concrete mental image of them. Very soon after this, however, people hear the following. Look at the course of a human life. From birth to the 7th year, to the change of teeth, the physical body is predominantly active. Then up to the 14th year, the etheric body, then the sentient body, then from the 21st to the 28th year, the sentient soul, then in the 30s, the intellectual or mind soul, and so on. This suggests to people the following. Observe externally the changes that occur in the concrete human being who develops over the course of life. When you see a person at the beginning of their 20s and with their particular characteristics, let these attributes be symptomatic for you of what you need to imagine when the term sentient soul is used. When you see a child that characteristically wants to do everything the grown-ups do, to live through the sheath of the body, then from the way the child behaves, you get an idea of what is understood by, in quotes, physical body. And when you see an old person with gray hair and lined face, whose substance is noticeably withering, and you observe them in their movements and just in the way they are, then you no longer see, as was the case with the child, that something living in them comes to expression predominantly through the bodily sheath. But what you see at work in an old person is what is already beginning to release itself from the physical body. Observe an old man. Through his gestures and in the nature of his behavior, you will gradually rise up to an idea of the spirit. If you compare an old person with a child and compare the gestures of the old person with the child's imitative gestures, a feeling awakens in your soul for the difference between spirit and matter. Think how the pictorial quality, imaginative mental images are helped by this. This indicates to us that we need to picture the course of a person's life concretely and sense something in this life. Then our otherwise abstract words become filled with concrete content. And we also try to show in every way possible how humanity as such has become ever younger and younger, that we are now 27 years old, meaning that our culture is as it is because as humanity we are 27. If you compare this with what you can know about earlier cultural periods and what you can anticipate in future cultural periods, this supports a pictorial thinking in you.